Oh, have you seen the bullet shrimp, by the way?
The bullet shrimp?
It's such a random thing. So two things. Do you know Tirzu?
No.
And then, okay, if you don't, then you probably don't know the pistol shrimp. They're amazing pistol shrimp. Or also maybe bullet shrimp. I think there might be two different ones. But it's basically a shrimp that, I forget if it's a shrimp or a lobster, but it's a cephalopod that, as part of its, like, defense, is it snaps and punches so quickly, it sends a sonic boom that underwater just kills and, like, fries other fish. It's so good.
Fascinating.
Yeah, here, let me stream this to you, and let me go get it for the audience. Alright, so here it is. These are either the pistol shrimp or the mantis shrimp. I forget which one. I think it might be the mantis shrimp here. With this, yeah, packs a punch, predator in paradise. I think this is it right here.
Despite being only 6 inches long.
Okay, are you able to hear this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Pound for pound, he packs the biggest punch in the natural world.
Yeah, this guy's like fucking Mike Tyson in shrimp form.
This is the peak.
Is he just one punch man?
Literally, no, actually that's better. He's Saitama, like literally. So, I don't know if you've ever have you seen the Backyard Scientist, Eric?
I have every once in a while, yeah.
Okay, so he has this wonderful video where him and Mark Rober talk about the physics of surviving a grenade on land versus in water.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay, so you know how like in water, it's the reason why people used to go TNT fishing in lakes for fish, because the vibrations while on land would disperse into the air, into the ground, etc. On the water, you feel every inch of that blast go through and rupture all the air pockets in your lungs and shit. And it like ruptures your eyes and stuff. So this is why this shrimp works. They send such a fucking wham punch at the speed of light. Literally, Saitama speed of light styles. Where it's just... I don't know if you've seen Game Theory, Matt Pat's reason about why Saitama's so strong. That it's possibly just as much the speed as it is strength. That is this shrimp. He punches so fast, it literally creates a underwater sonic boom at the point of his fist and kills whoever's in front of it. It'll explain more of it, but it's so cool.
He's actually neither a shrimp nor a mantis.
Oh,
I'd like to side note, I don't even watch
just doesn't have the same ring to it.
the Game Theorist or whatever.
Valid.
This guy's biggest problem right now is real estate.
Yeah.
There are more shrimps here than there are crannies for them to claim.
It's free real estate.
In a hot market, you have to move
when you have
fast.
a punching fist. Jesus.
All that activity
He almost got caught by his
works up
friend
an
right there.
appetite.
Christ.
Time to bring out the big guns.
Then I doubt he tried to kill another one of his species. He'd probably be like, hey, get the fuck out of here before trying to kill him. He really does
He looks like a giant
lobster.
cockroach. I love that. Oh!
Yeah, he's so fast.
He just did a
He's
supersonic
armed with the most
speed
sophisticated
time.
vision of
They're
any
so
predator
fucking
on
fast,
Earth,
Kirby. It's
and
awesome.
the fastest strike.
I guess that makes sense because he can punch that fast.
Yeah, which would also
His
explain why
eyes work
Sonic's the only person who can
independently.
take on Saitama.
And together to
Yeah.
target his prey.
Ooh. Look at little squishy
These
squishy.
eyes detect more colors than any creature on Earth.
They can literally
And see
see
polarized
more
light.
details than we can. It's interesting.
Yeah.
He closes in on his target.
God only made that thing this small and gave it this OP package this small, because if it was the size of an elephant, it could kill humanity.
Yeah, this guy's got the ultimate starter pack.
Exactly. If it was intelligent or bigger, it'd be unstoppable. Look
The
at it.
mantis unloads the
He's
Kicks
got all
off
the
sleep.
DLC.
Hammer claws.
Yep, look, he just boom, boom, starts breaking apart the fucking... These guys have like punched crabs
His
apart.
spring-loaded clubs strike 50 times faster than we can blink.
That's amazing.
Yeah, fuck you, hermit crab. You're dead meat, bitch. And boom. Ooh!
And then
it
it's
caves
dead.
in its head. Look at that. Oh.
Damn.
It like gets in
The
its hole. It's like,
surrounding water
"Mine,
reaches the
bitch."
temperature of the surface of the sun.
Yep. It's
And
literally
that's in slow motion.
the temperature
You heard that right.
rises to this temperature. It boils the water around the fist when it punches.
Wow.
This
That is
crab
incredible.
is toast.
Yeah, he is literally dead before it has a chance to react. It's so cool. I love animal stuff because I don't know if I've ever talked about this. When I was younger, there's two jobs I wanted. I wanted to be either a zoologist or kind of a veterinarian, or I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So now I'm doing a bit more to stand-up comedian style, but I still have that love for animals.
Yeah, animals are so cool.
So cool. But yeah, here, I wanted to show you guys Tirzu, because the bird Tirzu, actually, funny that it's right
Offer
here,
pretty
because
substan-
this is what I was
I
going to show you.
can't say I don't wish I had that power though.
Right, the punch so fast, like,
This reminds me of the video Easter eggs in the game outside or something like that.
Easter eggs in the game outside. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought
you know what I'm talking
actual
about?
Easter eggs, and I was like, was he talking about Easter? Oh, you meant like findables, secret. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a joke because
I'm
it's
an
like
idiot.
he was like there's Stonehenge, there's the pyramids. It's pretty
Oh
funny.
god, I'm an idiot. I'm totally a dummy because for a second I was like, what are you talking? Oh, that's
He
what you're
treats it
talking about.
100% like a video game. It's so good.
That's so cool. I actually like that a lot. Okay, so here's the bird tier list.
Like Lego studs.
Birds are one of the most popular playable classes in the game, with a huge number of successful builds
Yes.
and tons of cool strategies. However, some
This
of these strategies
resonates
have
with me on a
clearly been
personal
more
level.
successful than others. So
Good,
today
I'm
we'll
glad
be
I can
going
show
over
it
the
off.
bird tier list to see which bird ranks highest.
Bro, really?
But before we get into
Oh,
looking at
RuneScape.
specific bird builds, let's do an overview of
He has
the
a
basic
lot of video
attributes
game
and special
references in
abilities
his,
the bird
videos.
faction
It's
has
so good.
access to, as well as a quick rundown.
I
of the
love that he
history
talks
of the
about the
bird
different factions and classes as if they're like a fucking
So
like,
birds
RPG.
are one of the newer factions in the game,
Oh,
joining
yeah.
the game's
This
roster
is
during
amazing.
the latter part of the Mesozoic expansion. They began as an offshoot
Expansion,
of the
I love
dinosaur
that.
faction that was specifically adapted to arboreal gameplay. But when the devs dropped the Cenozoic balance patch, these small avians were the only dinosaurs not
The
to be
balance
hit
patch.
by
I
Yeah,
love how
a
he
lot of them left
describes
the
it.
server at that time.
Exactly. That's so fucking funny that you say that. He's made that joke in 3 different videos. But like I'm not even gonna lie. I love the way he describes it because I have actually done like history and when I was like in college, like learned this stuff, and it's so fucking boring because they're like, oh yeah, so the dinosaurs, yeah, and then birds came around. Anyways, but he's like, so anyways, the birds came in, saw the lizards, and that they weren't going fast enough, and that they weren't agile enough. So the birds faction came in and took over the pterodactyls' flying space. So lizards lost the flying section to the new faction altogether, and it's so interesting and cool. I love it so much.
Fast forward to today's meta, and birds are one of the most successful factions in the game, owing this success to a handful of powerful, unique abilities, in addition to the obvious flying
Ooh.
attribute. First
That's a
of
peck.
which is their beak. Now, beaks were not an entirely new ability for the reptile player base, but birds went far deeper into the beak skill tree than most dinosaurs ever had, with many bird players opting for extremely specialized beaks to give them an edge in specific scenarios. However,
Pelicans are
even
just
the
bullies,
basic
though, to be
beak
fair.
offers plenty of advantages.
Yeah.
While their lack of teeth does mean that they deal reduced damage
try
with
me,
their bite
bitch.
attack, birds can be far more
But to be
accurate
fair,
with
why
their
would a bird
pecking attempts,
ever need to bite?
enabling them
They
to
can
hit
just
weak
pierce.
points or secure grabs on
I've seen
smaller
a bird
targets,
pierce a
such
fish
as the
like
thin hurt
midair
bark
and
of
just
a
go
snake.
on with it, tear it in
Beaks
half and
also
catch
offer
it midair.
moderate
Like birds are
protection,
savages.
potentially
with
reducing
beaks.
headshot damage and nullifying
Yeah,
imprecise
Bird's got
counterattacks.
the
Beaks also offer some of the
Bird's
best
got all the
stab
good
type
skill
damage
sets.
in the game,
Yeah.
which when used
And to be fair, he
accurately,
makes
can
a-
deal
Overwatch.
massive damage
Yeah,
on crit.
he actually makes a real good point there. Is that by having the extended beak, it does reduce headshots because it's kind of like a halberd in a way, or a spear compared to like a club or an axe. Well, like that, you need to get up close and personal, but when you get close and personal, you're able to really fucking get into them, right? But with a spear or halberd, you can kind of keep them away. I don't know if you've ever been to medieval times, but watching them fight, like actual knights with halberds and like watching them like move people around and like hit them and smack them up the head from a distance, totally reminds me of Bird.
Beaks are also
Yeah.
excellent tools for dealing with parasites, In fact, they're so good that oftentimes
This is a good
other less
early
dexterous
meta, but
players
I
will
like
party
the
up with bird support players.
meta
in
that
order to
develops
have a
over
better
time
matchup
where it's
against
the
parasites.
caveman meta.
The caveman
Feathers
meta.
are also a
the
unique
That- that's a
ability
pretty good build.
exclusive to birds
Honestly,
that provides
humans are a
excellent
real
cold
good
protection
build.
without causing the user to become
Yeah.
too
It's interesting. He actually
over-encumbered
makes
to
another
fly.
video about the
Feathers
differences
also offer
between
pretty substantial defense against
what was
crush
it?
type
It
attacks,
was
which is especially important to birds because
like
of
the
their
two different
hollow
type of
bone
cavemen.
strength.
It was the
Hollow bones
Neanderthals
are another ability
and
meant to
the-
synergize with the flying
I think the other ones are
playstyle.
just called
Now, a
Neanderthals.
common misconception is that
Neanderthals
bird
is someone
bones are
else.
hollow in order to reduce equipment load.
Oh
But
god,
actually,
then
they're
I know.
hollow in
Wait,
order
shit.
to let bird players fill them with air, which grants them a
It's
massive
something else,
boost
though.
to
It's
their
something else.
maximum stamina.
Yeah.
Without this, it'd be extremely
like all
tough
the
for a
game
bird to fly
references.
for any significant period of time. The trade-off, of course, is that a broken
Fallout
bone not
4
only
and-
deals serious damage, but also
Isn't that
potentially
hella wacky
Bash
though? How
Bros.
birds' bones look.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like to me when I first saw this. I didn't think it was like bones. I thought it was legit like a cave. Like
This
a
is like
cavern.
an alien planet, yeah.
Yeah, like and that's just like right there inside that thing.
The surface of Planet 9.
Yeah, and
that
that's just
bones
in
are
the
hollow
wing
in order to
like,
reduce equipment
that-
load.
That's
But
so
actually,
weird.
they're hollow
But like
in order
at the
to
same
let
time, it
bird
makes sense
players
because
fill
it's
them with
porous,
air,
right?
which grants
So
them
it's
a
cool.
massive
Yeah.
boost to
It's
their
cool, but it's
maximum stamina.
weird. It's gross.
Without this, it'd be extremely tough for a bird to fly for any significant period
Is that a
of time.
snake? What is that?
The trade-off, of course, is that a broken bone
Is
not
that a
only deals serious
chicken?
damage, but also potentially
Hey,
reduces the
chicken.
player's maximum stamina by a huge margin. So a bird player will need all of the blunt damage defense it can get. And speaking of blunt damage, the
The
bird's
little
lower bone
footsies.
density
That was so
damage defends
cute. The little
maximum
footsies right there. The little.
And speaking of blunt, so a bird
Kicky,
player will
kicky.
need all of
The
blunt damage
prehistoric
defense it
number
can get.
15.
And speaking
Number 15.
of blunt damage, the bird's lower
Oh,
bone
look at that
density
bitch, little
means the
slappy
bird's own
slappies.
blunt force strikes, like wing attacks, also deal reduced damage.
Ooh, got
The
him.
top tier bird builds are the ones that
Oh,
can best
oh, fuck it,
capitalize on the strengths of
Oh,
their
hell
weapons,
yeah.
while
Oh, they
mitigating
kick
You
you
play
down.
Battle
That about
Against
covers
the
the
No.
basics, so let's get into the tier list.
The theme where you fight Metaton.
At the
Oh, yeah.
bottom of the tier list, we
With
have
that,
two flightless
it'll be
bird builds,
perfect.
both with essentially the
Perfect
same
time.
glaring weakness. These are the kiwi
Kiwis.
and kakapo. Kiwis are hilariously part of the same
They're
faction as
F-rate?
ostriches, emus, and cassowaries. For some reason, they opted to give up
Oh,
the
that
flight
actually makes
ability,
sense.
but didn't
They're
use the
probably
extra available
casual
skill
players.
points to spec into
Yeah,
gigantism
they just
like
wanted
the
to
rest
enjoy
of
the
their
beauty of the
squad.
game.
The result is a build that
Yeah.
can literally only exist on island servers where there is no active mammal player base.
Yeah, see, that's
aka
peaceful
New
mode, as
Zealand.
they would say in
The
Minecraft
kakapo
terms.
is a flightless version of the parrot. and
Yeah,
although
yeah,
parrots are
they're
undoubtedly excellent bird builds,
they're casual
the
playing.
flightless weakness
Yeah,
is
they
too
don't. They're
glaring
not
to ignore.
pro gamers or
Due to
challengers.
invasive species like rats and cats establishing a presence on
Damn
island
cats!
servers,
Look at that.
both of these flightless
Kiwi-
bird builds
Kiwi
are seeing
walking on
major
up.
declines in their player base. And I would not
Mom
be
can pick me up, I'm
surprised if they
scared.
all ended up switching mains. Flight is just too strong an ability
Cats
to
are
pass
pretty
up,
good in the meta
which
if you
brings
can
me to the
find
next
a
builds on the tier
house.
list.
That is true. Any kind of housing.
So I see what these
Because
builds were
then you
going
could
for.
just do whatever you
Being
want
giant
and get
could
whatever you
potentially
want.
make up for
True.
the lack of flight, but in practice, this didn't quite pan out. While these are
You could say being owned is quite easy. Oh,
technically the
jeez.
strongest birds in terms of base power and defensive
Yeah, honestly,
stats,
ostriches
for
are
their weight class,
insane.
they are woefully underpowered.
It's like joining
One
a
of the few
faction that already
megafauna
has
builds that can
everything.
be taken down by cheetahs when they should be able to completely annihilate cheetahs with their powerful
To be
claws.
fair,
Their
it's
huge
also a
weak point
pack
presents a
tactics.
lot of
I
opportunity
think
for
one-on-one,
counterattack
a
too.
ostrich just kick
So
a
if they ever
cheetah's
get
ass.
too
To be
bold,
fair,
they're setting themselves up
I-
for
I
a
d-
tough loss.
Yeah.
I guess
Lastly,
it's
the fact that they are forced
he's
to nest on the ground.
he's okay. See, okay, right there, the flightless birds area with the fact they have the nest on the ground is a big no you, or a big bad. Like where it's like, haha, we're big birds, and then we don't need wings, and they look at where they lay their eggs. It's like, oh fuck, oh what do I do with them? A what was Roxy saying? UL stream. Oh, you laugh, you lose. I can do a you laugh, you lose. If you want to submit a you laugh, you lose after this, we can do a you laugh, you lose, and we'll see if you beat me. But yes,
I would partake in that. Yeah,
yeah,
that would be
alright,
great.
Sweet, yeah, I'm down to do it. If you guys want to like submit it to the YouTube ones, the YouTube channel on Discord, I'll go look and go down them. But yeah,
I think the only one I have is the one that I sent you a while ago.
fair enough. And then Roxy, your playing field. I'll take your challenge and I accept it. But we play for subs. Only one though, just one.
Oh.
And yeah, but as I was saying, is that like I feel like they're so good. Well, yes, I can give him credit that they are, while being flightless, at a disadvantage because they're having to work with ones against or in their weight class, like elephants, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a bad point because just because you're big does not mean you have to pick a weight class your size. They could be.
I
fast
honestly
and
just think they
outrange
didn't
them.
want to pay for the Red Bull Game Pass,
Honestly,
the Red Bull
honestly,
DLC.
yeah. Honestly,
Because Red
if
Bull
they would have
gives you
just done
wings.
two shut the fuck up. Oh my god, that pun. All right, anyway, we're moving on.
forces them into an even more vulnerable
But yeah, overall, I would
position than
say
most
that
birds,
with how
as
speedy
rat-type
they
eggs
are, I think
extremely
an
valuable as
ostrich
loot.
does not deserve to be on an
Objective
F tier.
defense is not an easy task even
Mhm.
for high-tier builds.
But
so for ostriches, emus, and cassowaries,
I
this
do
is a
agree that
huge
it does
hurdle.
have some pretty glaring flaws.
Next on the tier list, we have the hummingbird. This build spec'd purely into mobility and just about nothing else, and as a
Okay.
result is the only bird build with full 360-degree movement, similar to a dragonfly. This, combined with its extremely small size, enables the hummingbird to very quickly change direction
That little
mid-flight,
cute like
allowing
footsies,
it to
like
easily
whoa.
dodge attacks and fly
Whoa.
around obstacles. More
Foresight.
importantly, it allows the hummingbird to access nectar, which is an extremely valuable source of energy. That's
Was that
normally
nectar, or was he just
inaccessible
trying to
birds,
pluck the fucking
since birds
antenna
are
off a
usually too
butterfly
heavy
like a
to land
dick?
on flowers, and not
Did you see that
inaccessible to
bee
the
right there?
hummingbird to
Oh my
access
God.
nectar. Usually too heavy, extremely valuable
In the
source
background
of
of that
energy.
last one.
It was
Yeah,
just
that's
doing a
it.
backflip.
Oh, watch, it gets
Since birds
slapped
are
by the
usually
wing.
too heavy to
Wah!
land on flowers, and not agile.
Oh,
enough
that
to
is
access
so
nectar,
funny. I wanna watch that
since
again.
birds are usually too
Wah!
heavy to land on flowers,
It's like
and
the
not agile
penguin
enough
getting
to access
slapped
nectar
by
mid-flight.
another penguin.
This all
Yeah.
sounds great, but the hummingbird also has two very serious weaknesses. The first
Which,
is
fun
pretty
fact, that
obvious.
video
They
isn't
have
actually
no
real.
combat
It's
prowess
it's
at all,
actually
and any
edited.
attack they
edited.
fail to dodge will send them
Yeah, it
right
broke
back
my
to
heart
the
when I
character
saw that.
select screen. But in addition to that, the insane energy cost of their flight ability,
still funny,
combined
though.
with their total lack of
I'm
flight
so
speed,
hungry.
means hummingbirds will run out
Whoa.
of stamina very quickly if they can't constantly find food. To me, this is a high-risk, high-reward strategy where the risk far outweighs the reward.
They're
So I
like
have to
Scout
place them in
TF2. They're super mobile, but if they take 5 damage,
At the
they're
bottom of the-
running for that health pack.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, so if we're talking about pure combat and like survivability, 100%. I still think ostrich needs to be at least C tier. Personally, I see its glaring flaws, but I personally am team ostrich for C tier. But that's just me. Is there anything you disagree with in F tier so far?
I think
I have
ostrich
to
is
place-
also pretty C tier.
Yeah, it's pretty bulky, and I think his point about being flightless is pretty underwhelming for a reason to be F tier, especially when we talk about the fact that they're big, they're bulky, and like the people in his fucking weight range is elephants. Elephants aren't going for eggs, like it's very rare. Also, I don't know. Maybe you might know this. I think I know this is that I don't think cheetahs and big cats like that go for eggs anyways. Like the work to break through an egg and I think it'd be too messy, right? Because they wouldn't really be able to get it very well, and the amount of work and efforts and calories burnt towards calories gained, it wouldn't really be worth it, would it?
I'm not. I don't know for sure, but that sounds like it's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think they could if they eat the egg. If it was eating the shell, then I could see the calcium would be worth it, But if it's not, then no way, no
That'd be
way,
F
Jose.
tier.
Yeah.
All right, let's go
At the
next
bottom
tier.
of D tier,
D
we have
tier.
the pigeon. The pigeon
Oh,
build doesn't
pigeons
really
are going
have
up in
flaws,
groups.
but they're held back by mediocre stats.
Yeah,
In particular,
if
the
they're
pigeon
if they're
is sorely lacking
groups,
in any
they're
combat
really good. But a
focused stat
solo
like power
pigeon
or
ain't
defense.
shit. Yeah.
They do best in cities
Yeah,
where their
yeah.
excellent
Man, did you see that turtle
combat
deck that
focused stat
pigeon?
like
Oh my
power or
God.
defense. They do best in cities
Oh my
where their
God.
excellent navigation ability grants them an extra bit of safety.
Their only
by nesting
reason for
among
living, and I
high-rises
get why you
in
put them in
loot-rich
D tier,
locations.
is that they're
But even in
scavengers.
cities,
If they
pigeon
can't
players tend to be
scavenge,
the main source of XP for
yeah, I was like, if they
higher-tier
can't
predators.
scavenge,
Plus,
they're
if you're just
dead.
looking to play a bird build that's good at looting cities, there are better options available.
Yeah, like
I
a
love
seagull.
that clip.
The peacock build
Really?
is another
I wanna
generally
see why.
understated
I wanna
build
see why.
with high HP but little else to rely on. It does.
Oh,
however,
I guess
have
they
one of
don't
the
really
highest
have an
intimidation
attack,
proficiency
right?
bonuses in the
It does
game,
have
gaining
an
a massive
intimidation
buff to all
tactic, though.
intimidation checks when
True,
its
but it doesn't
five-slot
actually have
feather
a
ability is
damaging if it's
activated.
attacked, right?
As impressive as this ability is, the peacock's actual attacks do very little damage.
Yeah.
So any player able to
Oh.
resist being frightened will have a pretty easy win.
That is true.
The
Like that
peacock's
turkey was about
thematic
to
display
fucking square
also
up,
blocks
bro.
vision behind itself, making a stealth approach
Oh
by a third-party
shit, that's
attacker
true.
extremely easy.
It makes it harder, and they
And while
can't
can
fly.
escape
And they
by
can't
flying,
fly.
The feathers of a peacock are so heavy that getting airborne takes a bit longer than most
Yeah.
birds, which can be the difference between dodging or dying when under attack.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, their
that's
dodge
true.
speed not
The
very
Flamingo
good.
is a bit
That's
of
true.
an
I
AFK
respect
class.
that D tier.
Very minimal skill is actually required to pilot this build. They opted to spec into the filter feeding ability, meaning all
Yeah,
they
so
really
they-
need to do to
it's
gain
easy
experience
to just,
and
like,
progress their
idly
character
be
is pick
alive,
a random spot in the lake bed and start
but you
digging
have
around
to just
with
get
your beak,
lucky and not
scoring
die.
free
So
wins against things
I
like
would put them in
snails
C
and
tier
shrimp.
personally because I think
However,
the
when faced with a challenge
guarantee
from
to
any player anywhere
live
near
is
its
pretty
size,
good. You know.
this build totally falls
Yeah.
apart.
I think
They
they're a
rely
good
on water to impede the
starter
approach
for
of
casual
predators in order
players,
to give them
though.
time to
Absolutely.
escape.
You
So
don't
I'm
have to
gonna
try
put it
hard.
at
However,
D,
this doesn't
just because of
always
how easy it
Their
is to
pathetic
grasp as
defensive
a
stats
character.
mean they go down in 1 or 2
Exactly,
hits,
exactly. And
their
they talk
slow
about
flight
1 or
startup
2
means
hits,
that
but like
oftentimes players will have time to
that's
rush
the
them
point.
down
Is
even when they're in the water.
you're there to be there,
This is
not necessarily just for combat, but just to survive. So if you're in a group and you're in a really good like group that's like terrifying to run into, and
Mhm.
you're not facing something like a monkey, and you're just not an idiot and decide to like run away, unlike that bird who is lagging behind, then I think you have a pretty decent chance to survive. And if we're talking about survivability and not just combat, I agree. I think going from C to B is, I think C to B, like a nice maybe C plus, maybe high C, low B. That's perfect for Flamingo.
easy build to rack up
Yeah.
a bunch of experience with.
It's just
but
a really
also
good
very
starter
easy build to
character as
defeat
well.
if you know their
Exactly for
weaknesses.
noobs.
It teaches you the game's
The
mechanics.
humble chicken. Often
These
compared to
bitches
the
can live
T-Rex
without their
to
heads. Hold
exemplify
on.
how far the dinosaur faction has fallen. While I disagree with the implication, I don't disagree
Yeah,
that
I'm pretty
chickens
sure
are
that's
indeed
true. I
a
think I
low-key
saw
build.
someone on Discord like
While
that.
they aren't anywhere near as totally helpless as the kiwi or kakapo, they're still a barely average statted bird that lacks the ability to fly for any
They're
extended
thick.
distance. They can certainly
guess
hold
you're
their own
right.
against most similarly sized opponents.
Yeah,
but with
similarly
poor escape
sized.
options and no unique abilities, this build faces an uphill battle against
Well, to
most
be fair, they were
opponents.
also domesticated.
Well, okay, I shouldn't
So
say
if you're talking
no
about
unique
domesticated
Yeah,
chickens.
but to be honest, they're fast.
So actually,
and
agree. If we're talking about
Domesticated-
stability
backfired on them due to
and
humans
combat
using a
all
factory
around,
farming strategy.
I would say C, or
Next
maybe
in
even
C tier,
F.
we
Honestly, I
have
think chickens would be my first F tier, personally, because I think you're kind of just like choosing to be another species slave, aka us humans. There is.
I'm gonna put it at a low D
Mm.
because it's for casual players who don't want to learn the game's mechanics. If
Exactly,
they
like
are
a sugar.
domesticated in a farm.
Exactly, because at that point you're basically just living the chicken life. You're not really facing the survivability or the hardships of anything beyond
Yeah.
peaceful playing. You know.
You don't know any of the game's mechanics, so
Exactly.
I'm
Put it
actually
down
gonna
there
put
with the
that on
fucking
a.
kiwi.
I'm gonna put that on a high F,
High
low
F.
E.
Low E, yeah, or D. It depends on how they rank it.
Vulture build, the tankiest variant of the Raptor subclass. A
A
good tank
vulture-
build needs to be able to accomplish two things. The
They're
first is
scavengers
area
though for a
denial,
reason.
which vultures do
I actually
quite
get it.
well.
I get it.
A
They're
few of them
D
can
trash.
easily lock down a carcass, one of the most contested points of interest you'll ever see on the map.
The
They can do
fucking
this because of their
Gerudo
large
Valley.
size and acidic projectile.
Yeah, they're too big
The
on
other
the
thing a tank must be good
scavenger
at is shrugging off
skill
hits, and
tree.
this is where
Yeah,
vultures fall
if they
short.
went into more of
Their
an
thick
actual
feathers usually
aggressive,
shield them completely from
like-
smaller attacks. But because
Yeah,
of their hollow
it's-
bones,
it's-
blunt force can
yeah.
easily crush their
Break
Yeah,
that
I
bone,
can
get on
see
them.
myself
Only a hit.
playing as this character
So while they
once
can defend a
before
carcass
like
from
learning
hordes of
the
smaller
mechanics of a
scavengers,
scavenging
they don't have much
build
counterplay
set.
towards
And then
bigger
playing
I
that
think
more
it's switched to
formidable
something else
scavenger.
after like one try.
Yeah, a more formidable scavenger. Because at the end of the
The
day, they're
woodpecker
just.
build spent-
And to be fair and honest, at the end of the day, Vulture's too slow and not a very good bird. I'm sorry, Vulture players, but you're kind of fucked, in my opinion. You're only really allowed to live because other people struggle in the arid compared to you. That's it.
Yeah, it's a one-time kind of play thing. Learn the scavenger set,
Yeah,
and then
you-
move on to something that's like
You learn
More
scavenger
scavenger
in
intensive.
arid, and even then, if you're in arid climates, there's better scavengers out there, like the lizard subclasses. I'm just saying.
yeah. That's actually a
Both of their
class, I
evolution
think.
points optimize
Oh, I meant
and
subclasses
perfecting
of the lizard,
attack attack,
but
both
you're
in
right, the actual
power and
lizard class in
efficiency,
general would
with
still go
one
better.
goal in mind: to be able to hit insect players through cover. Burrowing is one of the safest.
To be
most
fair, it does
effective
give a
ways insect
strong
players can avoid
stab
combat.
damage, but
But
they're
the
also very
woodpecker
small
absolutely
and
demolishes this strategy.
inadequate.
One of the main advantages of this
Mhm.
strategy is that having a powerful beak that's highly effective at drilling through wood also just means you've got a super sharp beak that's highly effective as a
Yeah,
general
fuck
purpose
other
weapon.
people's beaks up, bro.
One of the main disadvantages of this strategy is
You're
that
loud.
pecking at wood
You're
gives the
literally
woodpecker's location away,
giving away
alerting
everyone's
more powerful
location that
predators
you're
to its
there.
presence,
That woodpecker's
while it's
me
in
at
the middle,
5 a.m.
pecking and is distracted.
Trying to get cheese from the fridge.
One particular woodpecker
Nah, just hitting my head on the wall.
opted to spec into more bulk and an even more powerful beak.
Oh,
which,
honestly
while
though,
less
I actually
useful
really
for
like
attacking
flamingos.
insects through the wood,
Oh, not flamingos.
is
They're
still
not
extremely
flamingos.
powerful for PvP.
Toucans?
All in all,
Toucans.
interesting
Yes, thank
strategy.
you, toucans.
By no means flawless, but definitely has some solid strengths.
Penguin!
So, I know I've been pretty hard on flightless birds up until now, so you might be surprised to see me rate penguins as upper mid-tier rather than low tier. The difference is, penguins actually swapped out their wings for an arguably
Honestly,
equally
they have an
viable
amazing
alternative,
swim speed.
flippers, which essentially allow them to
They may
fly
look
through
like
the
birds,
water
but they're
with
just like
incredible
they're the
agility.
best flightless birds.
This gives them a downright broken matchup
I
against fish.
I think we already know, looking at the matchup so far, Kirby, is that looking at our players and their classes and their subclasses, etc., and their different ranks and skill trees they can go down to. If you're gonna choose flightless, you gotta either be willing to fight and fend with the big boys on the ground, or you gotta go in the water. And clearly, penguins got the water down.
Mm-hmm.
However, this strategy is pretty much only viable on servers where there are no land-based predators that penguins would still need to worry about. So if for whatever reason a few polar bears ever spawn in the Antarctic server,
Valid.
it's kind of game over for that entire build.
But
Predators
there's like
they
an
have to
entire
contend
crew
with in
for a
the water
reason.
are even more dangerous.
Ah,
And
shit,
while their
seals,
agility
to be
does
fair.
help them dodge attacks,
But
ultimately
they
it's
are
still a
able to
totally
outmaneuver
one-sided matchup.
seals by getting
The
away
strategy
pretty
is pretty
easily.
cool and actually fairly
Once again on
dominant
land, they're
due
able to get
limited
away from the seal.
competition. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the entire penguin player base collapse if the devs ever add new DLC in the form of an Antarctic land predator, or even if they just buff the land mobility of the leopard seal. Still,
But what if they
C tier
buff
is
the
a
penguins?
respectable-
You see, I was gonna say, but that also acts like the penguins aren't gonna fucking become bulk fucking buff boys, you know? Slapping bitches
Yeah.
around like nothing. I think
Isn't that what they actually do, though?
yeah, that's what they already
Decision
do.
for a
I don't know. I
flightless
think C is good for penguins,
At the
personally.
bottom of B tier, we have the goose.
Yeah.
I've got an entire video dedicated to the goose.
They're
I would
like-
have it at C, but I don't like what they do, so I'm putting it at D.
You could do D. I'll do C. Because for me personally, just because they'll have sex with a dead chick's corpse does not distract from the survivability for me.
Yeah, it's just bias for me.
Valid. That's why I'm like it's valid, but I'm still gonna stick with C because for me it's the most middle ground water version of a bird. Well, I think other versions that will flight and water, like say the goose here, or even other kappa goose or geese type birds, are better in water. I do think penguins are a good starter ground, but I get your bias. I totally find that valid.
But in
Yeah.
short, the goose has solid base.
It's not a
stats,
tier list without a
including above
bias.
average hit
Exactly.
points. However, its abysmal power stat leads it to rely heavily on intimidation to secure territory.
But to be fair, they
This
got
can
a
be
lot of
unbelievably effective
intimidation.
at times,
It's so
and it's not
incredibly
uncommon
effective
to
because
see
they don't know
top-tier
that you're not
predators
dangerous,
flee an
and
encounter
they got
that
the fucking
easily could have won.
Look at
Still,
them. They
the
got
obvious
the
flaw
fucking
in this
gumption.
strategy is that if the goose's opponent resists being frightened,
Ooh!
the goose will be wide
That
open
goose
to a
is
punishing
fucking
counterattack.
dead.
In addition, the goose's weak spot
Instant
Oh.
concussion,
is
instant
exploitable by
death.
entire
Yeah.
I think it hit it right
So
in the
careless
lung,
aggression
like
tends
the
to be
throat. I think
goose's
that thing was
biggest strength
convulsing because it
and
couldn't breathe.
biggest weakness at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, still a
Yeah.
surprisingly
Gooses are
effective
scary as mobsters.
Honestly, I would put a goose or a geese above C, but I'm gonna put them at B because I think anything that's an A or S tier intimidation that goes to ducks in my opinion. Ducks are somehow so scary for no fucking reason. But geese are definitely, I think, a B level intimidation factor. If you want to go intimidation
I'll
build,
put it-
easy.
I'll put it somewhere in the middle of B.
Yeah, nice mid B. These guys
The
though,
Heron
high
build
B, high
put a
B.
huge amount of evolution points into maxing out the puncture damage it can deal with its beak, and it did so to great success. Herons have one of the highest damage pecs of any bird, and frequently one-hit their targets, even those with
Yep.
scale armor like large fish and juvenile crocodiles.
They got
The
that
effectiveness
spear
of their piercing
damage.
attack is
Truthfully.
amplified by their long neck, which gives their attacks
Oh my god, look at them like
deceptively long
lean in
range,
for that.
giving
Oh
their
my
strikes
God.
an almost cobra-like flash to them. They have downright oppressive matchups against fish, amphibians, and all other small aquatic builds. One vulnerability they do have is that their flight ability has a lot of startup, making it a bit less reliable as an escape option if
Yeah,
they
if
do
it can't
happen
go
to get
up,
ambushed.
they'll,
Still, it's
yeah,
certainly not
getting
terrible.
bullied by eagles.
Another weakness is that their long neck presents a bit of a weak point, making lunging forward with repeated pecking attacks a bit risky if you get too
Because you can get
predictable about
grabbed,
it.
yeah.
Good players will be
I
able
think
to
that's
punish
honestly a
careless
good
lunges quite hard.
situation.
It really is. But then again,
high
oh
B
no,
tier,
but
we
look
have
at that, look
careless
at that
lunge.
right there. The way that Falcon's able to pull it through, it actually does show that it has a
is
weak neck
quite
though,
hard.
so you can expose the whole neck easily by grabbing the head.
In high B tier, we have the Falcon, a
High
raptor build that
B,
opts
really?
to
I would've
defeat
put
its
low
opponents
A,
using speed
at
and
least.
superior maneuvering
If not
rather than
high
Yeah,
A.
I think that's a low A for
Falcons
me.
actually have a below average power stat for a raptor, and
Really?
don't deal particularly high damage in close combat. Their talons
Okay.
are pretty small compared to hawks, owls, and eagles, and so instead of
Okay,
slashing
I
and
can see
stabbing
high
with their
B.
claws, Falcons actually
Damn.
punch with their feet to disorient or concuss their target, and then finish the fight with their more powerful beak. In the right situation,
GG
this can
easy.
deal absolutely massive damage, enough to one-shot a mid-sized target at full HP.
Wow.
The drawback of this strategy is that Falcons can only dish out high damage when they have the time to build up speed first.
Yeah, I'm
This makes the
thinking
Falcon a pretty poor
maybe low
defender
B,
for
maybe-
objective
or not,
game
low-
modes,
high B, low
and
A.
means the Falcon can struggle to win fights if its first attack doesn't connect, as follow-up attacks will likely not have
That's
the same force
true.
built up as the first.
Well, I mean,
Still, the burst damage potential of
It's
this
like
build
Thunder
cannot be
Crash from
ignored,
Destiny
so
2.
it earns its spot
I
in
suppose
high
so,
B tier.
but I feel like it's not that hard to re-get that momentum again, though.
This might
They're
seem like an
birds.
odd inclusion to cap off B tier, but songbirds are a highly efficient build for their size, and do
Really?
deserve recognition on this tier list. This
Okay.
is a huge group, including finches,
I don't even have an
starlings,
opinion about these, I
sparrows,
just wanna hear
wrens,
this.
and birds of paradise.
Oh, so
And while some are
pretty.
flashier
Oh
than
my
others, They all
god.
have relative
Did you see that? Like its face opened
Oh,
up.
that's
Sparrows, wrens, and
beautiful,
birds of
yeah.
paradise.
Like it opened up
And
on
while
the.
some
Oh
are
my
flashier
god!
than
Like
others,
transformed.
They all have relatively similar stats.
That was
with
cool. That was like
extremely
Iron
high agility
Man-esque.
being their core stat. Unlike many of the builds lower on the tier list that have difficulty getting themselves airborne quickly, songbirds have extremely low startup on their flight move, allowing them to reposition themselves easily and quickly. This makes their approach very difficult
Yeah,
to
get 'em,
punish,
bitch. Get 'em.
making songbirds
I love
excellent
seeing
at
birds do
chipping away
stuff
at
like that.
defensive players, and makes them great at stealing loot from slower builds.
Yoink.
Their safety in numbers strategy can actually be somewhat intimidating and
Halo.
disorienting
Awesome.
too, making it rather
Wow.
difficult to attack a party of songbirds mid-flight.
That's
While they
awesome.
certainly aren't invincible, having one of the lower HP stats among birds, they're an often overlooked but undoubtedly successful bird build.
Honestly, I could see this. If you want a good, like, I would say songbirds are like if a casual player maxed out their casuality. You know, they're like, what's the most casual high tier build I can do? That's songbird. You know, I see that. I see that.
At the bottom
Yeah.
of A tier, we have the Swan. The Swan is essentially a goose that has the power stat to actually back up its attempts to intimidate.
I see.
The wing
Maybe
attacks that most
maybe
bird
instead of
players
duck,
use
I
do
should
very
put
little
duck at
damage
like
and aren't very useful
a
aside from
fucking
pushing other players around.
high
The
B,
Swan's wing
maybe
attack
low
can
A.
break
Yeah.
bones
But I
and
think
concuss
Swan is a
throws.
better version of both
Because of
geese
this,
and
Swans
ducks.
are one of the best builds at controlling important
They
points
are
of
pretty
interest,
good.
I
as
might
their
say they might go
hyper-aggressive
S tier
playstyle
just
can
for
result in
intimidation
huge
factor. The
territory
S tier
gains.
intimidations.
Of course, they do have the same weaknesses as geese, so targeting the
Oh my
swan's
god,
neck
just
with
grabbing
an
his
attack
fucking
can
neck.
defuse the threat.
I love
But
old
this is a
women
bit
grabbing
riskier
birds
of a
like
play
that. It's
against
so
a
funny to
swan
me.
than against a goose.
I think if I were to
All
put it on
around,
S, it would be a
sturdy
very
defender,
low
definitely
S
A
for
tier.
me.
Yeah, I would say low S only because I think it's
Next
the
in A
highest
tier, we
range
have
of
the
this
owl,
thing.
the
Oh, I
avian
love
faction's
owls.
Premier stealth
Oh,
assassin build.
this
it owes
is
its
an-
reputation to its special ability, which allows it to
Owls
fly
are scary. They look at me without turning their body.
I have to say, no, I disagree with A tier. I think just because they're not literally killers, survivability, was it survivability, stealth, offense, defense, speed, startup. Owls are some of the most versatile all-arounders. I gotta put them in low S tier. I gotta
completely
disagree
silent
with A.
They're
This
probably
makes
the
owl
best
strikes very difficult to defend against, as players just about
casual
never see them.
pacifist build.
While not as
Not even
stacked
like
in the power
pacifist, I would
department
say,
as their
but,
daytime
like,
counterparts,
stealth-wise, yes.
owls do have quite
Yeah,
solid
but
base
like
stats.
get into less
While they aren't likely
encounters.
to one-shot high HP targets,
Yeah.
they
More
have
like
enough force
scrap
behind their
kinda
attacks
stuff.
to be able to
Yeah,
defend
I see what
themselves
you mean. It's
and
kinda
their
like more like a
territory,
sniper,
even
in a
from
way.
powerful enemies. In addition to granting the owl the silent flight perk, the
Yeah, they're
owl's
definitely
thick,
playing
bushy
casually.
feathers
Tag 'em
offer
and run.
additional defense against attacks, enabling it to stand its ground
Oh,
in
look at
important
that
objective
beautiful
defense
bird.
scenarios.
Oh.
Interestingly, the silent flight perk did come at the cost of the waterproof ability that most bird feathers have.
Really? They're not
Meaning that falling
waterproof.
into the water or getting caught in a rainstorm can actually disable the owl's flight
Yeah.
ability. A pretty unique weakness, and certainly something that can be played around, but interesting nonetheless.
I wasn't aware of that. That's...
In the middle of A tier, we have the
I'm
Maybe
gonna have
A
to
tier.
move that to high A then.
Hawks and
Yeah,
Eagles
high
follow
A,
the same
yeah.
basic strategy, both having tailored their builds to focus on dealing maximum damage with
Damn, he's just choking that bitch out.
are the smaller
Oh my
ones.
God.
And because of this, they are far more agile.
He's surfing.
While not as powerful as eagles, their agility enables them to weave through cover better than most birds of prey. This makes them well suited for rushing down players
Oh,
both in
damn,
open
look at
terrain
that
and in
motherfucker
dense,
go.
difficult to navigate terrain
That he
like
totally
forests.
just took down that squirrel.
Eagles, in
Holy
contrast,
shit.
are much more powerful, but their larger size and wider wingspan prevents them from entering dense forests. Still, in open prairies and
Whoa.
mountains, eagles can be incredibly effective, dealing
Damn.
absolutely little damage with
Ooh,
their
that'll
enormous
kill him.
dagger-like talons.
Jeez.
Send them to
You
their
have to take
death
down
so they can
players in
eat
higher
them
weight
below.
classes without even requiring team strategy.
Yeah, that's an easy
These
knockout.
are without a doubt some of the strongest bird builds in the
Whoa.
game for PvP.
I could
and have
only
been for quite
understand
some
putting
time.
A if there's a version exactly like it in S tier.
At the top of
That's
A
just
tier,
better,
we
you
have
know.
the grappler
I
tank
think that's gonna be
hybrid,
Eagles that he's
Pelican.
talking about.
The Pelican's main strength is its throat pouch.
Honestly, though,
Grappling
grapplers wise,
enemy players
Pelican
can
is
be
a
highly
very
effective
fascinating
takedown
ability.
strategy. But birds struggle with this since they can't use their wings
That
to
whole,
grab,
like,
and since their beaks aren't always the most
Because
reliable.
imagine, yes, you grapple, but what if it has claws? You grapple, it has claws, rips your throat out. You know, it's a
That's true.
fascinating ability.
grappling weapons, sometimes leading to targets escaping. The Pelican's grapple is, in contrast, almost totally inescapable and works on targets much larger than you might
in the
think.
UCH
While this
building
attack
event.
style is most effective against fish, it's
What?
That's a good time to pause right there.
Yeah, yeah. Participate in the ultimate chicken horse building event. When is that, Horsey Nasa? If you're even still around, when does that happen to be?
quite powerful against other bird, rodent, and amphibian players,
Ha,
although it does
that
have its
fucking turtle.
limitations.
Oh,
This combined with Pelican's overall bulk makes it
Pelicans
one of
just try
the
to
most
eat
difficult
anything,
birds
man,
to
I
take down
swear.
in single combat, and enables it to stand its
Yeah,
ground against
they
even
really
top
do.
tiers like canines. So those of you who follow the channel
It's like
for
they
a while
turned the
can probably
spear
guess what
build
the
into a
top-tier
blunt
birds are gonna
object.
be.
Kind
If
of,
you can't,
kind of,
that's
yeah.
probably
like
a good
net
indication that you
with
should
like
be
a
subscribed.
club attached to it.
Those of you wishing the devs could unban the Velociraptor build, look no further than the Secretary Bird, as it has basically
Yeah, look
all
at
the
its
same
fucking
awesome
claws
abilities
and
and
legs.
more.
Watch
Hunting
this.
on foot and in pairs, they prove time and time again that striking from the sky is overrated. They can
They
easily
scare me like
defeat other
people who are
high-tier builds,
6'2".
such as the Cobra and Mongoose, with their high
Wow,
damage
look at those
kicks.
little fucking
Their
feet.
stomp move
They look
has
like they got, like,
extremely
high heels.
accuracy, allowing Secretary Bird players to score
They have
game-ending
high heels
headshots
and knives
with ease,
attached to the
and
end of
they
them.
do all this without
Basically.
completely sacrificing their flight ability.
Oh, and they can
If they
fly
ever find
really
themselves
well.
outmatched, which only ever happens against builds in higher
He's
weight
like, oh,
classes,
Sheka, get out of
they
here.
can still
I
retreat
gotta
to
get
the
them.
sky
Barbara?
and protect.
Barbara?
The fact that this strategy works in Africa, one of the most unforgiving servers of all time, is proof enough to me that this is the optimal raptor. These last two
Sure,
builds
I don't know if
are
I'd say
about equally
optimal,
matched,
but
both
I
opting
would
for the
I would
same-
personally switch Secretary Bird out with this dude down here. I think if we're talking about Raptor, oh no, because I guess I'll say they're similar, but I guess they do different attacks. They're not very same enough for me to do that. I would maybe put the S tier guy down in honestly A, because I don't really see anything special about it in the Secretary Bird. I'll put down A. Yeah.
same specialization.
Nothing to really swap it out
intelligence.
with, but I'll put it down to A.
Parrots
Parrots!
are
I mean,
an
they live
extremely
forever,
unique
but
build
what?
with several
Really?
powerful abilities, not the least of which is their Sonic Shriek, which can drive
Oh
away
yeah,
just
one
about
can
any
live
player
for
who
like
invaded their
50
territory,
years, I think, right?
especially when
Yeah.
deployed by a coordinated team. In addition, due to their prehensile beak, parrots have the highest dexterity of any bird,
Really?
putting them among the best users of the tool use ability.
Whoa.
And with
Yeah.
an extremely high lifespan, if there was any build that could replace humans if humans ever get their intelligence nerfed, I'd bet on the parrot. I made an entire video on parrots if you're interested, but when it comes
That's
to
cool.
intelligence, there's one avian build that arguably outclasses them.
Crows
Corvids,
and
such as magpies, crows, and
corvids.
ravens.
Oh,
Magpies,
that makes
ravens.
sense,
For a high intelligence
dude.
playstyle,
Crows have
but
a
with far more
very
expansive
big
social
group
aspect to it.
system,
While plenty of bird
and it's
builds
actually
use collaborative
incredibly
team
intricate.
strats,
And they're
the best
super
corvids
intelligent,
operate
too.
using a network
Great
effect,
There's a
memory.
guy
where
who
knowledge
ran
is
over
shared
a
with huge
crow,
amount of players
and
over
they
vast
observed their
distances.
face, and for the
This
next
knowledge can
20
include useful
years,
points
if
of
anyone
interest,
even
or
looked
even
like them, they would
blacklists
all
of
start
dangerous areas
attacking.
or players to avoid.
Wow.
But even individually, corvids have a lot
Wow,
going
that's
for them.
insane.
With significantly
Oh, thank
higher
you, Mama.
stealth than parrots, corvids are much better at staying out of conflict. their pointy beaks, while not as useful for tool use, are a much better combat tool for dealing quick damage. It's also more useful for pressuring and poking opponents, or for provoking larger players into battle, so that they can reap the benefits of the aftermath.
They're good
Corvids
on
are
their
one of the
own,
best
but
skills
they're
for making
incredible
use
in
of human-made
groups.
items, and quickly figure out ways of abusing the system to score quick loot.
Interesting.
All in all, Corvids are basically what you'd get if you gave monkeys wings. Easily a top tier build.
Monkeys with wings. I
So
see that.
there you have it, the complete bird tier list.
I'm surprised he didn't
Or
mention
rather,
like
as complete as I
the
thought possible
pros
for
and
use.
groups.
If I didn't
Yeah,
do a segment
honestly.
on your favorite bird, please let me know in the comments. Despite being the longest video I've ever made, there were still a few birds that I cut from the video for time's sake, or because I felt I couldn't discuss the bird properly without getting into territory that was potentially
You know it's
too
bad when
violent
if
for
the
YouTube.
longest video
If
you've
you're
ever
interested in
made has to
watching the
cut a
full
few
director's
things
cut
for
version,
time's sake.
Right. But I think I'm done streaming. I'm gonna go take a break to eat my food.
Alright.
And we'll hang out. So, thank you very much
That
for
sounds good.
thank you very much for hanging out with me, Kirby.
Yeah, certainly.
All right, I'm gonna go eat and say bye to stream. I'll see you in a bit.
Alright, talk to you then. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me. If you haven't, I'll see you guys next time. And if you liked that, please like and subscribe. It'd help us a lot very much, and you can stay around for more either Stardew, Darkwood, or other wonderful adventures with me and Samantha. You can also find us on Twitch at Wolfer28, or if you really like D&D, there's our podcast, Bardic Logs, found on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify. And no matter where you choose to support us, we very much appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.